Welcome back to Living East Tennessee. Well, when it comes to preparing for emergencies, McCay Southern Generators are providing the power that you need. And we learn more about the importance of having backup power in your home with Luke. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So I understand you have a trivia
I
question
do.
for me. Okay.
What animal do you think causes the most amount of power outages?
Raccoons.
No, it's squirrels.
Really?
So yeah, fun story. Last year, 3,800 people lost power in Carnes because of a squirrel chewed a power line at a substation.
Wait.
Yeah.
Now, this might be a silly question, but does a squirrel get shocked?
Yeah, they probably don't make it. They go to squirrel heaven or something.
Squirrel heaven, that's what we're going to pretend. There we go.
Yeah.
That is so fascinating. And something as simple as that can lead to you not having power in your home for quite a while.
Yeah, anything from the power company can't produce enough power, or all the way right beside your house, a squirrel chews a line. If you lose power, anywhere during that phase, your home loses power. So that's really where the generator kicks in. If anything gets disrupted, that generator is going to kick on automatically and restore power back to the home.
Oh, interesting. So does it take a minute for it to work, or it's instantaneous?
It's 15 seconds.
Wow.
So, which is really important.
Incredible.
We've talked to a lot of people recently with this heat wave.
Yes.
So if your power is out for a few hours, your temperature in your house could rise 5-10 degrees just in those few hours. And if you have a 24-hour outage, it's likely going to be the same temperature inside as it is outside. So if it's 95 degrees outside and you have a day-long outage, it's probably going to be 95, 100 degrees in your house.
Absolutely. And think about if you have pets, small children, it makes a huge difference.
We actually are going to be installing one for a lady that lives in Knoxville. We talked to her earlier this week. She saw our commercial on your station.
Oh, that's awesome.
And her concern, she has chinchillas. And if they're very susceptible to, I guess, temperature changes. So if she has an extended outage, they might not make it. So she's getting prepared for that.
Absolutely. So let's talk about that installation process. How does that look?
It's very seamless. We handle the whole thing. So we basically come to your house first, build a plan of what we're going to do, talk with you where you want to place it. We'll see what size you need. We'll draw it up. You'll say, hey, let's do it. And then we'll start planning stuff before then. 3 to 4 weeks later, we'll come out, install everything, usually in one day, just depending on where we're at with different permitting and different utility companies. But we'll handle all the electrical connections, all the natural gas or propane connections. And then once it's done, we'll start it up to make sure that you know it works properly. We'll test it, we'll add the warranty, and then you'll be good to go.
That is awesome. And so thinking about installation, and I'm sure a lot of people think generator, you think maybe bulky, this huge thing.
Yeah.
What is that like for different people, different folks?
For most homes, it's a 4-foot by 2-foot box that sits outside your house, so it's probably a little bit wider than your HVAC.
Yeah.
A lot, like I have one at my house, when it kicks on, I don't really hear it, and a lot of people like to hide them, especially in HOA areas. They'll have them behind a fence. So we try to strategically place them where you want them to, if you want them hidden or not. Some people, you know, if they lose, if their neighborhood loses power, they're the only ones with power, and they don't want their neighbors coming over to charge their phone, so they might try to hide it a little bit.
That is so smart. I've never thought about that. Lock all the doors.
Happens a lot.
Don't let everybody else in. That's hilarious. And speaking of backup power, one of the things, if you have elderly parents, grandparents, having them protected is absolutely huge as well.
Yeah, most of our customers are probably 60 and older. It's very important. The less mobile someone is, the more they require backup power. Because if you were to have a multiple day outage, you're like, hey, I'll get in my car, I'll leave. Even if the local hotel doesn't have power, I can go somewhere else. Well, they need to be in their house for medicine, for medical equipment, and your home is not the same when it doesn't have backup power. So this gives people a lot of peace of mind knowing they don't have to think about power outages. It's a permanent solution. They can get a 10-year warranty. So yeah, they don't have to think about them. They just have peace of mind the whole time.
And I always throw this in, you know, football season's around the corner. You don't want your power to go out while you're watching the game.
No.
I mean, give them a call now.
Call us now.
What does that consultation process kind of look like?
Yeah, we want to meet people where they're at. So there's people in different stages. People are just now researching it all the way to, hey, I want this installed next month. So we'll meet them where they're at. The best you can do is go to our website, fill out the form. We'll do a discovery consultation on the phone where we'll ask you a bunch of questions, hopefully give you a bunch of good information, and then kind of let you guide it. If you decide, hey, I want to get this pretty soon, we'll come out to your house, draw everything up, talk with them more in detail, talk with you about exact price or monthly financing options, and then you can say, hey, let's do it.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us today and sharing all this information and that interesting trivia question. That was awesome.
No problem.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you.